6 в эфире.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome to day 2 of the Verizon Warriors series as we bring you this quarterfinal match between JEDI and Help, also known as Where's the W Key? In
That's
the green, spawning from the north, Team JEDI
Hey,
bringing
back up.
a Shokaku and a Key, very Japanese-centric capital lineup there, Zath. Putting 2 Clevelands in front of that, fronted by a single kid and double Le Tarib.
Oh, very interesting. The destroyer pick. So, meanwhile, Team Help, Where's the W Key, is almost mirroring the beginning with the capital ships, Shokaku and the Key. Now, they're bringing 2 Amalfis instead of 2 Clevelands. They've elected to bring a 3rd cruiser, Chapayev, so there's some radar. And they have a kid and a Leterib as well. So, it seems like they have a little bit of a stronger setup for, well, no, never mind. Both sides have a kid. We're good.
Indeed. Both sides bringing a kid, acknowledging the power of the planes and wanting to push those off of the destroyers at certain key moments, obviously.
Right.
And then the other thing that I want to talk about is that, I mean, Cleveland's been in the game a very long time. Just about everybody is more or less familiar with Cleveland's capabilities, especially after they moved her up to Tier 8. Nice light cruiser, 9-kilometer radar, lots of good firepower. But Amalfi's at double Amalfi. You know, the Italian cruiser line is still somewhat new to competitive play. If you're Help, what is your thought process in bringing double Amalfi?
So my guess is that they want to nuke a destroyer early, and the Amalfi with its SAP will do exactly that. So they're probably going to put the Amalfis. Well, as I was saying that, I look at the minimap and they've split their Amalfis to be 1 with each side, basically escorting the destroyer. Another way that you could play Amalfi is pair them up. I think we saw this 2 weeks ago, and use them as a kiting away kind of, you know, Chibi Venezia version of Tier 8, and, you know, make plays that way. But it looks like they're going for the escort maneuver instead.
They are indeed both teams making early use of this kid smoke. Well, I say that. I mean, JEDI here from the north not employing it just yet, but I'm waiting for Rubber Band. There it goes. I was like, you could see the ship maneuvers. You knew Rubber Band had to be going for that smoke cloud, smoking up his team here on the north end of A as Admiral Rab down there. I love the name. On the bottom end of the A-cap has done the same thing for his friendly Chapayev.
Yep, and St. Pete was ready to go. The cameras were looking like, come on, hit that key already. Check your stats, let's go.
We knew it was coming. Like, come on, we're just waiting for it.
And so we have 2 Death Snails, both holding 1 radar cruiser. You've talked about the Cleveland. Of course, remember, Baltimore was banned, so Cleveland is the other American ship with radar, aside from the Wichita, I suppose. Not too much to talk about.
I was going to say we actually saw a little bit of Wichita last time we did this event, if memory serves.
Yes, that's correct, and it didn't perform quite well. Baltimore was banned in that event, and they brought 2 Wichitas instead of 2 Baltimores, and unfortunately, they didn't carry the team.
Now at A, things have kind of settled into a bit of a stalemate early here. You see the Cleveland. That is, I'm gonna get the name right. D-Quags, basically just chipping away, getting more or less free damage on Maverick's Key down there along. Along the H line.
Well,
as Rab now moving up to try and get in there onto the cap.
Not only is that happening, but there's also torpedo bombers that dropped on the Key earlier, and so it's a possibility that they got a flood. The DCP was down, that sort of deal. As the Cleveland, as you were just mentioning, Duquags recognizes the torpedoes coming in from the kid.
Yeah,
and just the W Key out of there.
They caught a look at Rab there. They got some good salvos in there from the Cleveland and the Le Tarib. I think you had a bit of surface spotting there. I think both of the kids kind of counter spotted each other and then immediately retreated out, as now the focus seems to be shifting into the Chapayev.
And I lied. It felt like there was a little bit more preparation on the side of JEDI. Like there might have been some communication. Rubber Band saying, "I think I'm going to bump this guy. Be ready." And you saw as soon as he got bumped, boom, there came the shells. Versus on Help, it took a little bit for the Chapayev to turn the guns around and get ready. So that little change, we see a decent impact on hit points for that trade there.
Now, I was going to mention this little drama in the middle of the board. Wilhoff Tarkin trying to probably sneak in and maybe play a little game and sneak in and maybe steal the C-cap away, flex Latarib's speed there, but got spotted by the opposing Shokaku, who went for a couple of torpedo runs, didn't get anything out of it, but definitely turned him around.
Look at Duquex. He's about to go down. There he goes. Amalfi takes him down.
Goodness.
We missed it. He must have gotten slapped by that key.
Must have.
That's a huge play because now it's just well, actually, speak of which, the other Laterrable's coming. So 2 Laterrables and a kid, all going to A.
Yeah, they're really going to have to reinforce this flank now if they want to hold it. Their radar is gone. The key has arrived. Frosty Beverages on the top end of the cap as now Tarkin joins his destroyer buddies, and they are all over the A cap.
Yeah, that's gonna, I mean, so they're gonna get the cap, but then they're gonna have to evacuate. They really can't hold it here with carrier support and Amalfi and Chapayev and key pushing.
We'll see. I will say at the moment, I think, Frosty Beverage is taking a citadel there from the opposing key up forward. I actually, Zath, I think that they can hold it, but it is going to require some creativity on their part. It's also going to require help to not make any mistakes, because in my mind, the linchpin of the help, if they're gonna break into this cap, they've got to keep that Chapayev on the board. And with the key lurking around here, that is a dicier prospect than it could be.
Yep. By the way, Frosty Beverages replied in kind to Maverick's key.
So he did.
Those two are just sitting there trying to slug it out, support their team by forcing the opponent's battleship back. Sorry, guys.
Can see the big rumble shaping up at A. It's only a matter of time before help realizes they've got to try to get back into this cap. They do have a small lead because of the early kill, but it's going to evaporate here in just a few moments with 7 minutes gone in the match.
Not much happening on the east side of things, as a matter of fact. The Amalfi for team help just sitting there, just trying to kite away. Laterrable sitting there ready to kite away, but there's nobody coming. So, when I play clan battles at this point, after so much time in the game, I'm thinking, all right, well, we've kited so long, it's time to get out of here.
Rubber Band making a mistake. Yeah. He's going to take a torpedo. Yep. He started to turn back out of that attack run. I was wondering if he would do that, and he did. I was surprised. I figured he'd keep turning into it, as while the team is occupied with the planes, help does move up, get the cap on A as they continue to put damage into Rubber Band Man.
Yep, and he also got I think the Chapayev nailed him just before the torpedoes came in.
He was getting shelled and then took a good Amalfi salvo there after the torpedo hit.
Yep. Now they're trying to come back in and take it back.
Yeah, they're going to push both Taribs right back in here. I kind of like this play, Zath, because, I mean, if you're the kid, you don't want to get caught out by double Tarib. They'll just melt you.
Absolutely. And with the Chapayev being so far south, it's really just SEAL Team 6's Amalfi who's in position to try to contest either of the Laterrals.
We haven't talked much about B, Zath. I'm kind of wondering when help is going to realize how under strength the B cap really is.
Well, and that's what I was talking about a few moments ago. In clan battles, when you're on the flank and nobody's coming, at a certain point you have to say, well, free cap, so turn around, and we got to figure out what's over here, what's taking so long. And it looks like now they've almost started doing that. Laterrable and Amalfi are starting to turn north, and they're going to see what they can make happen. As Admiral Rab just getting hammered here.
Yep, Rab's kid just getting absolutely wrecked by the double Tarib spam, even though he's in smoke.
French radar.
Indeed. Tarkin taking his own share of punishment for that.
Now
kind of waiting to see if they put the Chapayev radar up. Go ahead, Zap.
I was going to say, now's the part where you wish that your Cleveland was still alive and well, so you could pop that magic I win button.
You could finish him off, but I think you're right. There goes the radar up at A. They spot all the destroyers. As help is finally pushing the Tarib up the 7 line, backed up by the Amalfi. About 5-6 clicks astern of him there, letting the Tarib get out there and do a little spotting, because Amalfi not the stealthiest cruiser at tier 8.
No, but very good play by Big Joe there. He waited until the smoke was coming, and then radar to see what they can see out of it. And obviously, Rubber Bandman taking some more hits.
Rubber Band Man, though, is the one on that flank that can absorb the hits by using Kid's heal.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're starting to see kind of what I meant. Like, I mean, despite the Chapayev radar, so far, they are able to keep these guys out of this cap. But I think in order to do it, they've literally, the entire team is here to save this lone Cleveland. That's Gooseneck, who's about to discover that he is in a whole lot of trouble by himself at B.
Right. And this is what needs to happen in order to break the other flank, in order to break what's happening over at A. You know, Help has to go up, has to win this flank, and then come back around and essentially envelop. If they can do that, this game is theirs handily.
Indeed. A whole lot hinges on both this Gooseneck encounter at B and whether or not they can salvage Frosty Beverage's key off the top end of A. Who's getting absolutely hammered.
Yeah, we just flipped over and see that. He's healing.
He was down to 1,000 HP just a moment ago. Finally gets his heal away as he's trying to retreat behind smoke, but the planes will come find him momentarily. It won't last forever.
And he's got an island right in front of him. He's got nowhere to go.
He's going to have to make some unpleasant maneuvers at low speed to make this turn.
This is the part where I luck chuck my 10-kilometer torpedo south because no team damage.
Fair. No, that's a fair point. I was going to say because your teammates, but as you point out, no team damage.
Right.
Gooseneck not able to defend B. They're going to surrender that cap. Only 40 points between these two teams as Where's the W key starts to close that gap once again, looking for another lead change.
That's right. Jedi's carrier, the Shokaku, might need to start moving a little bit soon here.
You know, Seth, one thing I want to point out here that we maybe haven't talked a whole lot about. The help guys have done a fantastic job of preserving their HP on this on this A flank.
Good use of smoke and good use of cover.
Very good use of
duck behind.
Absolutely.
Here comes the dive bombers.
It could be the swan song for Frosty's key here, but manages to dodge most of that pain. But unfortunately, now he's going to find himself focused by Chapayev and Key and Amalfi. Surely enough of these shells will land sooner or later. Wow, he's living a charmed life right now.
Oh my goodness.
Look at this. Can they see him at all? They cannot. Because Rab is in the smoke and the planes are cycling, they actually cannot see Frosty's key at the moment. They have no idea where he is. Right. Both teams over 900 points now. We're getting into very dangerous territory where a single error can cost somebody the game. 12-kilometer radar going out looking for Rubber Band Man. They do find him. They don't see Frosty's getting another heal off.
Yep, this is where if you're running that the score timer mod, you're down to the last 30 seconds. Like, if you're Team Green, you got to make something happen.
Help back onto the B cap in the form of Gooseneck's Cleveland, but he's nose to nose with Killer's Amalfi over in the B cap. This could go badly because Amalfi is armed with at least a triple launcher of torps on each side of the ship.
Right.
Gooseneck's going to have to do some fancy moves here.
This is a desperation play to try to make something work out here, and look at... Oh, he had HE loaded.
Well, I think he's doing it to try and break the torpedo launcher.
Yeah.
He didn't get it. They are going to... And that's it. And that's it. The kill on the Cleveland seals the deal as Help will claim game 1.
Wow. You saw when he got in that cap, though, that the score timer changed from 30 seconds back up to 55, so that was an attempt to get a little bit more time for the team. Oh, so many what-ifs there, man. If you would have had AP, if you could have slapped that Amalfi off the face of the Earth before the Amalfi fired torpedoes. Oh, my goodness. What a game.
Now, that's a bit of a challenge, too, because I think a lot of people underestimate, the Italian heavies are some of the best armored heavy cruisers tier for tier. Still, at that range, you've probably got enough penetration out of Cleveland's AP to do good work. So I think his plan was to try for the in cap and try to disable the torpedo launchers because they are out on the deck. They're exposed. If he can get an HE shell to disable them, then, he doesn't have to deal with it. But, of course, didn't happen there. And he does go down, and that's the game. Really well played game by both teams, Zath. I really have to commend the Help guys. I mean, we kind of missed the Cleveland kill, but that was a huge early kill. And a lot of teams, I think, on that flank would have been like, yes, the Cleveland's dead. Go, go, go. They didn't. They continued to play patiently, calmly, conserving their health, They gave up the cap, they grabbed the cap, they gave it back up again. But in the end, I think that strategy just really was absolutely the right play for them. And in the end, you can see here a flawless victory. They don't even lose a single ship.
That's right. Well, let's send it back to the studio for their commentary as well.
Galvath, you're muted.
Absolutely muted. I was saying something very, very fun and interesting. So that was a very interesting match. Thank you so much, Sea Raptor and Lord Zath, for showing us and walking us through that battle. And congratulations to Where's the W Key.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bugsy, what are your thoughts? What's your recap and your take on that match?
Yeah, absolutely. So there were two things that I saw that made me really, really happy watching these teams react to the developments on the board. One was, obviously, JEDI took a big hit, lost their Cleveland relatively early on. That Cleveland was the radar pressure to try and keep Where's the W Keys DDs off of the A cap, and it was smoked up, which was very smart. They used the kid with that long duration American smoke to smoke up that Cleveland so it could threaten that cap. They then managed to actually take the cap, but then lost the Cleveland. When that happened, they lost an enormous amount of their leverage on that cap, but they still managed, using those French DDs and that kid, they still managed to contest that cap for far longer than I would have expected them to. So good on them for being able to take a bad situation and still make it work. And then better than that even, Where's the W Key realizes at some point, hey, there's another French destroyer in the A cap, which means he's not on the safe cap anymore. They push their own French destroyer, the Terrible, up into the safe cap of JEDI, and it took a little bit of dancing around the cap with a Cleveland, but they did take it, which started the clock on the cap, the total cap points, which said to JEDI, you guys have to get this Terrible out of the B cap and retake it, or you're going to lose, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and you know, I really thought that Maverick was going to be the key to that victory.
Well, I mean, and a great shot, yeah.
So the interesting thing about that match to me that stood out was just the early change in power when that Cleveland went down. It really kind of brought a different balance to the rest of the match and really kind of gave the leg up that the W Key needed to come through with that. One thing I want to point out, which is super anecdotal, is I'm a little upset at a player on that team, Admiral Harmon Rab Jr. Playing in a destroyer. He should have been in a CV because Admiral Harmon Rab Jr. is from a TV show and he was a pilot in the Navy. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I saw that and I was like, man, I need to speak with that player afterwards. But really well played to both of those teams there. Congratulations to Where Is the W Key. So let's see. Let's take a look again at the charity organizations that our teams are going to be fighting for, and I want to talk just briefly about Where's the W Key. They're fighting for the Pat Tillman Foundation, and we saw JEDI fighting for Warrior Freedom Service Dogs. The top place prize of this $100,000 prize pool, the team that takes first place is going to be giving a $30,000 charity donation to the charity organization that they are competing for. So it does a lot for these organizations, and I'm super excited to see. Second place is going to be $16,000, third place $12,000, fourth $8,000, and fifth through eighth $5,000 each. But all of the charity organizations will get something. So at the end of the day, as C Raptor said, everybody wins. So congratulations to W Key. Where's the W Key? It is right above S, in between Q and E, if you're trying to find it. So,
I think it's also great to remind everybody that these donations, of course, are sponsored by Verizon, right. Without whom, obviously this would look very, very different. So thank you to them for being so generous as to donate to these excellent causes. It's great for our players and our veterans in the game to be able to, take part and do something fun like this for a good cause.
Yeah, absolutely. And Verizon has a lot of programs that they do to support veterans. They partner with Wounded Warrior Project for a lot of really good causes. As we've seen, we've raised over $20,000. I think I saw another donation come in. We're almost at $21,000. So it's super exciting. We have more matches throughout the day. So we're going to be seeing up next. Who do we have coming up next? We're going to have JEDI versus Help again. Seems like I think we're sticking with JEDI versus Help. So it'll be game 2 of JEDI versus Help, and we'll see again with the Baltimore, Alabama, Otago, and Kaga. Those. What do you think we're going to see here differently, Bogsy?
Well, I'm interested now to see if one of the teams thinks to bring a Lexington over the Shikakus. I actually didn't. I was watching carefully, but I didn't get the sense that the Shikakus made a major difference in the match. I noticed a lot. The battleships and the destroyers seems to be the absolute most key figures there. The carriers, clearly, their most powerful ability is the ability to spot destroyers. And as we are now seeing the recent change to the rockets of CVs, where the CVs now start their attack. There's a delay depending on there's an attack run, which results in a several second delay for most carriers. It means that carriers have to very carefully pre-plan their attacks, and it gives the destroyers a bit more time to dodge or to some other way mitigate that damage. I thought that was pretty apparent too watching this match. I think it will be the same on Warrior's Path, and most notably the French DDs. They're so powerful. They're very, very fast. They're deceptively tanky because they have that unique damage saturation mechanic, which means that as they start to take damage, they take less and less over time. Combine that with strong torpedoes. They may not have the best range, but they're strong if you need to YOLO somebody and just give them the business right in the face. But they also have powerful, accurate, high-velocity guns. Very, very strong. The bad news is they're sort of seen from space. So it was interesting to see them contesting caps on the last map with Terribles at some point, even smoking the Terribles or the Fantasks up using other smokes. That one sort of threw me for a loop, but I think here on this map, we're going to see some more mobile play, which is something you have to do when there's a carrier on the board. You have to be mobile. You have to be able to turn and run or be kiting, so you're automatically able to retreat at any point because the carriers can light you. What's that old adage that if there's a carrier on the board, assume you're spotted at all times. Play like you're spotted.
Yeah, we saw that too with the key in the last match where we weren't sure, he was detected for a little while, but then the team just kept lobbing shells towards him, trying to hope for a good shot. So
yeah,
that could have changed the outcome of that battle. So I think we're getting ready for the next match here in just a couple of minutes.
Really glad to see the key, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was great. So huge shout out to Sea Raptor and Lord Zath. They always do an amazing job. While the other teams are getting set up, I want to talk just a couple of quick minutes about some of the things that we have going on today. You've seen Chatbot drop a bunch of links. So for those of you who are new or existing Verizon customers, you can get $75 worth of in-game goodies. That includes 4 months of premium time. And Bogsy, what does premium time as a player mean for you?
It's the difference between days of grinding versus hours of grinding. When you really want that Montana, or you want that Grossa Kurfürst, or you want that Howland, going up a line takes time. It takes time so that once you get to tier 10, you are an expert at all the ships behind it. Yeah. And premium time helps you progress faster. It helps keep your credit intake up, and it makes the game a lot smoother for you when you are making those heavy grinds.
So in order to fix my credit, I just have to get premium time?
I mean, that's the word around the campfire. This is not legal advice, and therefore it's not legally binding.
This has nothing to do with any of the credit bureaus. But for those of you out there who have a cell phone, which I think is everybody at this point, or most people, that cell phone in your pocket could be worth $75 worth of in-game World of Warships goodies. So make sure you take a look at that. Also, for those veteran family, that your mug disappeared there, buddy. It was interesting. Yep. Is it a green mug?
It's light blue.
It's interesting. All right. But for veterans and active duty military, Verizon also has a ton of really great offers for you. So if you are a customer, new or existing, make sure you sign up. We couldn't be here without the folks in the background from Verizon. There's a ton of people. When I say that this has been put on by a ton of people, it is incredible. So a huge shout out to our friends and partners at Verizon. We really appreciate this. Now let's take it over to Lord Zath and Sea Raptor and see how the next match plays out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 2 of Help versus Jedi. Teams have swapped positions, and now as our green team, our North or Alpha spawn, and we see a Shokaku, a Key, double Amalfi, a Chapayev, a Kid, and a Cossack. In other words, it seemed to work last time. Let's keep it.
More or less, they swapped the Tarib for the Cossack, but other than that, same lineup.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a small change. It's a small change. It's all right. Opposing them from the south spawn, Jedi returning to the field with Shokaku and Key looking familiar. There's Gooseneck back in his Cleveland. Inflamed coming into the match in a Bayard, Tier 8 French premium cruiser. Tarkin swapping to a Tier 8 Japanese premium Tone, a new release into the game, and fronted again by one Kid and one Tarib. So they've opted to get away from the triple destroyer here, moving Tarkin over to a cruiser and changing one of the Clevelands out for a Bayard.
Makes sense on a map like this. Repositioning isn't necessarily as important as winning the fight at A. At least it seems like what both teams are thinking at this point. So we'll see which team can win that battle.
I'm curious as well to see how they make use of Tone's planes, right? Because the cooldown on Tone's planes is longer than that of Issei. It's 3 minutes, so you're realistically going to get into 3, maybe 4 strikes over the course of a match. I'm genuinely curious to see when they opt to push that button and who they send those planes after.
Right, absolutely. As the Tone gets the first, take some damage from that Shoku, the recognition of, hey, this guy needs to be hurt just a little bit.
Indeed.
Of course, it's like an Otago. It's got a heal. It's got the 10-kilometer torpedoes, and the guns are no joke on the ship. So not only does it have those planes as a threat, but it's a full Japanese cruiser as well. Now, I do want to talk briefly about the carrier lineup. I was listening to the studio in between the match, and there's talk about the Shokaku and maybe not being as effective. And I really think it depends on how the carriers are being used. In the last game, it felt like we saw Help's carrier doing a really nice job with the torpedo bombers, either getting in opportunity strikes on the battleships or basically just trying to mess with the destroyers, essentially trying to make these late turtles dance. And even though they didn't, a couple torpedoes actually managed to hit, but more importantly, it forced those destroyers to be on the defensive and exposed them for the team to possibly shoot at them too. Didn't happen as much. Maybe that's why the feeling was that they weren't as effective. Lexington, of course, dive bombers just come right in and just assert dominance. So
yes, that's true against most destroyers. No question. Rubber Band Man dodging a torpedo strike there from the opposing Shokaku, as you noted. Does sneak in, takes a big hit from the Amalfi for his trouble as he gets in. He does duck into the A-cap to bag that early here for Team Jedi.
Yep, there's that SAP coming into play.
And he does take another torpedo.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, the Shokaku's doing just mean things to the destroyers with the torpedoes this game.
And that's the strength of Shokaku torpedoes, is you've got multiple, like, shot after shot after shot after shot, and you can reposition and turn based off what you think the enemy destroyer is doing.
You just keep coming back for more kicks at the can until eventually you land one.
Right. Whereas Lexington torpedo bombers, it's one large spread, which still can be useful, but it depends on how you use it.
Aish's Shokaku trying for the same trick against Rab's Kid. Not really doing much with the torpedoes, but definitely continuing to light the ship up for his teammates.
Well, one of the big differences is Rab's Kid has friends, right? He's right next to Big Joe's Chapayev, so that's a second anti-airfield that those planes have to fly through. Yep,
right there on top of them.
Whereas Rubber Badman is by himself, so
very alone in that cap.
Yeah, it's only his anti-air that he's dependent on. Now Moff Talkin is once again taking a torpedo. No?
Oh, he did. He did finally get clipped by it. But hey, Tony's got a heal. He'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll buff out.
It'll buff right out. Once again, Shokaku Torpedo Bombers coming back for Rab on the top end of the cap. Looks like maybe now he's going to give up and shoot at the Chapayev as the smoke is expiring. He's not going to get one in the bow. No, he didn't even get the bow torpedo.
Oh, that was... Wow.
But Frosty Beverages moving up, looking for a shot on the Chapayev. Just kind of daring Big Joe to stick his bow around that corner.
Now, when you go on this map with only one battleship, you don't have the opportunity to arc over that island like we saw a couple weeks ago. That Chapayev is much safer as a result.
Indeed. Gooseneck already at half health on the bottom end of A, so the JEDI radar cruiser at A under a tremendous amount of pressure already. We're only 6 minutes into the game. Oh, right. they catch the Chapayev trying to move, Zath. Key shots going in. Oh, not much.
Well, don't worry, he'll reload.
keep blowing your horn. I'm reloading.
Yes, exactly. Exactly right. AP dive bombers now on Big Joe.
I don't think he got anything out of that strike. Yep.
Nothing.
All the action going on at Azath, I want to point back, look over on the 7 line at a push that's been developing between the Bayard and the Le Terrible, flexing their speed, trying to put some pressure on this back island cap here.
Well, and that's what we were talking about before. If you sense that there's nothing coming, then it's time to bring the fight to them. Yeah, and that's exactly what's happening here. And Flame now realizing, okay, that's a Cossack. Probably Torp's coming right behind him, so he's going to try to duck into that island. Tactical Notzer.
Maverick landing a big hit on Frosty Beverages back at A. Big chunk of health going away. You can see JEDI really, they are not trading very well. They're quite a bit upside down on health. They have a cap advantage and about a 200-point lead because of that cap advantage, but they are giving up a lot of HP to hold what they have. Closing in on 800 points now. Go ahead.
We're just now watching that replay of Maverick's shot hitting Frosty Beverages, taking him down at half health. Wow.
I want you to look also, Zath. Look at the D line. Look at Furia. Look what he's got spotted on the surface.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Pecора's in trouble. Here
comes the AP.
There it is.
There's the reload boosted AP coming in for the opposing Shokaku.
And if I'm that Bayard, I'm hitting back and hitting reverse as well. And
I'm going to back up and he's exactly what he's doing. He's reversing. You know, his reload booster is going to be going up soon. They see a high value target caught out and exposed. They're absolutely going to try and take him off the board, or at least put some pressure on him. They've got him turned. That'd be a great time for Frosty's guns to get into the game, but I don't think Frosty's got a shot from the angle he's in right now. Yeah, I think he's out of range. He's not even looking.
Yeah. Oh, big fight going down at A now. We have a destroyer slap fight.
So we do. Rab driving into the cap. Help realizing they've got to do something.
There it is. Rab now caught out on radar.
Yeah, Rubber Bandman getting 3 shots on Rab as the radar has Rab picked out and Bandman's concealed in smoke. But the struggle with Kid is putting one down takes a lot of concentrated fire, and at the moment it's just Bandman shooting. There it is. There's the Tone shells. They're gonna get him. They're gonna get him, Zath. That Japanese HE comes in, does the work, and there it is.
There it is. This whole time, looking at Big Joe's Chapayev, I'm like waiting for that radar to pop, so that must have been a slight mistiming there. And that cost him the ship.
First blood going to Team JEDI here. They crossing over that critical 900-point mark, 60 seconds on the timer. Help needs to get a kill or make a big play somewhere. They've wrapped Maverick's key all the way around the cap, but the opposing team, that's JEDI, has done a brilliant job of denying him most of the big shots he might want. And they're focusing out Joe's Chapayev now.
Yep, here comes, look at this, the torpedo bombers too from Atis.
Oh, they're going to get him.
That's going to seal the deal right here.
There it is.
Goodbye.
10 seconds on the timer. Team JEDI is going to...
The Tone came from the other side with the torpedo sandwich, just in case. Beautiful.
Just in case. Lovely.
Beautiful work.
Well, there it is, a flawless victory of their own for Team JEDI. They are absolutely back in this match as we even up at 1-1.
Yes, they are bringing balance back into this tournament.
You were the chosen one! So, a couple of things I want to hit before we kick it back to the studio. One,
Yeah.
when we saw the Bayard Tarib push, a flank, I should say, those guys went to B and kind of lurked there for a while. I was curious if they would flex the speed boost and use those ships to kind of add additional pressure. They did. I really liked that, right? Because technically you're pushing closer to the carrier. You're pushing into, you don't know it yet, but you expect there to be at least 1 or 2 enemy ships back there. It turns out they were pushing into an Amalfi and a Cossack. That's not exactly an engagement that I like if I'm a Bayard and a Tarib, but it worked. It made the enemy team react, maybe even panic a little bit with their Shokaku coming under fire. And even if they didn't get the cap, they didn't get a kill, the distraction, I think, was enough to really cause some havoc and allow them to make good inroads over at the A cap.
That distraction is absolutely important, guys. When when you're doing clan battles or if you're doing your own tournament, and there's that voice chatter, and all of a sudden you hear the carrier player start screaming, "I'm under attack!" crap and swearing as he hits the W key and tries to get out of there. That's drawing your attention away from whatever you're looking at. Even if you're down at A, you're looking at something else.
Yep. Absolutely. Fabulous game by both teams. Let's kick it back to the studio to see what Bogsy and Cal have to say.
That was a very well played match. Congratulations to the forceful Jedi. They were really balanced, and I don't know what other they force pushed that win.
Dive the island, you will. They so a really, really decisive win coming in from Team Jedi on that side. That was very exciting to watch. There were a couple of big hits coming in from Where's the W key, notably from their battleship player Maverick, I believe. Sorry if I got that wrong. Landing some very, very nice shots, but it just wasn't enough to deal with the aggression shown by Jedi. Specifically, Jedi did 2 things that were just really, really great to see. One, they pushed a DD up into that cap. They sat behind the island, just like we talked about, and they supported him. And that's what you got to do, is you got to support your DDs.
They took the high ground.
It took the high ground.
They took
I have the high ground! But beyond that, I've never seen this before. They sent a Terrible and a Bayard, both of which are open water gunboats that use speed and agility to trade in the open water. They sent them up. They sent them up the 6-7 line, up through the rocks, and then attempted to trade with a carrier. It was absolutely gorgeous. That's what makes tournaments like this fun, and it was just delightful to see a carrier, a Shokaku, in deep trouble from a Bayard and a Terrible that came up the middle. You don't see that in many tournaments, and that was a delight.
No, it was very interesting to see. So, if you guys are checking out if you're watching us right now on Twitch, which I think is the only place that you can watch us right now, we have a prediction of who's going to win the series. So cast your votes there. Let's see what we're gonna end up with here at the end of this. So who do you think is going to win the series, Jedi or Help?
Well, gosh, at the beginning of this, based off the first match, I thought that Where's the W key, known as Help, I thought they showed a lot of discipline when it came to how to trade effectively in the first match on Northern Waters. However, Jedi came in and just absolutely smoked them in that match. So I have absolutely no idea. I'm excited though. The fact that Jedi brought a Tone, it's the first time I've seen a hybrid in competitive play. And unfortunately, I didn't really see the torpedo planes be that effective, but I'm hoping they bring it to the next match. I'd love to see how a Tone works in a Tier 8 competitive field. Haven't got to see that yet. It's new, it's discovery. I love to see it.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn, and it looks like the community is also torn. Where right now we're bouncing between Jedi and Where's the W key. It looks like 60%, about 62% of the community believes that Jedi will win the day, and about 36% believe that the Sith, otherwise known as Help or Where's the W key, they have a lot of names, are going to reign supreme today in this next match. So we'll find out here in just a few minutes, I think, about who's going to win this series. But for now, what I want to do is I want to play a video really quickly, and this video is very near and dear to my heart. And this is a video about veterans and dealing with life after the military. And as a veteran myself, gaming was a crucial part of that evolution and that change for me. The sacrifices that veterans make extend far beyond their service, beyond just when they get home. And so the next video we're gonna watch, we're gonna learn more about how gaming has provided some of that much needed escape for these veterans to endure some of those really trying times right after the military. So let's take a look at that, and then we'll come back and watch this game 3.
Best way I can try to describe PTSD to other people is it's almost like I had these like blood tinted lenses kind of welded onto my face, and no matter how hard I try to rip them off, I just couldn't. I still had a very distorted view of reality.
For too long, gaming has been thought of as nothing more than a waste of time, just something meaningless with no real substance. But now we know better. Gaming can help us relax. It can be a way to blow off steam, and it can be a way to escape real life, even for a short time. And for veterans, gaming can act as a coping mechanism to work through past trauma from experiences they endured while in the military.
It's almost like this constant pressure that your brain is trying to use to help you stay alive. I mean, if it's constant like that, then how do you get a break from it? But what I can stick with is a video game.
We've all been in a scenario before where we started playing a game and all of a sudden it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and like, where did the last 4 hours go? You were just so immersed, and then suddenly you're like, wow, like I'm not that stressed out anymore. I think that's what a lot of people use it for, as an escape.
Gaming has been a super important part of my recovery. The only sort of respite that I had was sitting there in my bed playing my game.
Right.
That hospital life is rough. It's fun to have something that's not serious when your whole life is so freaking serious.
Where'd you go?
Through its partnerships with Wounded Warrior Project and supporting programs that benefit veterans, Verizon is committed to giving more to those who give the most. Check out Verizon.com/military to see why Verizon is ranked the most military-friendly company.
And everything in that video is super true. As a veteran myself, I can tell you that gaming was a critical part of not only my time in the military to help kind of cope with that loneliness. When you're sitting in the middle of an ocean and all you have around you is a bunch of other people who are in literally the same boat. That worked out well. The same boat as you definitely try and find those escapes. So gaming provided that. I had my 42-inch TV with me actually in our workshop on the USS Eisenhower, and we played a lot of Need for Speed Most Wanted. So it was great. Yeah, we had a little theater in there, so it was really awesome to see. But I'm super happy to be involved in this because Verizon, Wounded Warrior Project, and all of these partners and charity organizations that we work with really want the best for these veterans who volunteered to serve in the United States of America in their service or around the world. Volunteers. The military makes up a lot of the I almost said a lot of the veterans. Of course, they make up a lot of the veterans. They make up a lot of the organizations by which we and I hold true to, and I hold very near and dear to my heart. So I'm really happy to be a part of this. Let's talk about the next match, because this is going absolutely not the direction I thought it would. Bogsy, why don't you talk us through, and we're going to start here shortly.
Absolutely. So, again, this is Sleeping Giant. It is home to Thunderdome, the A-Cap. There are 2 entries, East and West. Here's what I think we're going to see. We've seen French DDs already. I think there are going to be French DDs in this match. They're going to go right for A. Hopefully the carriers will be hovering over to try and help out. We're just going to have to see as they get started here.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what casters love. Final battle, game 3 in a best of 3 situation is do or die for both teams. And we're going to start off here taking a look at JEDI bringing nothing.
Looks like we are going back to port, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll try that again in a moment.
We'll mulligan and try.
That was a draw. Sometimes they call it a draw. So
fastest game of World of Warships I've ever seen.
It was. Congratulations to everybody who drew.
That's the everybody gets a Capri Sun. Everyone's a winner, right?
Yeah, the participation trophy. So
Yeah.
congratulations to everybody for that. I'm not exactly sure what's happening here next, but I think we're gonna end up going back into that game. I think I'm waiting for the voice in my head to tell me what we're gonna do, but we're having some technical issues, so they're gonna be restarting the match. So the one thing I want to talk about while we're doing this is the makeup of these teams. We started out with 32 teams in the beginning, teams of 10 with veterans on each team, and so there are veterans of all branches of the U.S. military competing, from the Air Force to the Space Force, Coast Guard. We have a lot of different teams that have been competing. We see the Blue Falcons getting ready to face off against the AMD users. I'm sorry, from the first day. That was from the qualifiers round. Sorry, not today. The Flying Philosophers and the Sine Waves. Team 18, the Fire Kitchen. Team 19, and the Iconic Fleet. Iconic Fleet has an interesting name. They're IFHE. I don't remember what the rest of their name is. But then Iconic Fleet of Heroic Ephraim. Somebody did some weird naming on that. Great job though, because I named all the teams team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 32. And a huge shout out to our adjudicators and all the volunteers in the background who are helped get these team names squared away and are getting these matches set up. So right now we're watching JEDI and the W key. Where's the W key? We're also going to be having Double the Fun, Small Boat Navy playing. And seeing who wins that will face off against JEDI, or where's the W key. So who do you think after watching that draw? Obviously, it changes everything that we're going to see today.
Does.
Do you feel like really JEDI's still going to come out on top?
Well, see, this is where I'm not sure. I have a sneaking suspicion, and don't quote me on this, but definitely quote me on this, because JEDI brought a Tone in the last match. I suspect that they may bring it in the next match, and what could happen there is we could see both the Carrier and the Tone attempt to influence the duel that happens in Thunderdome. I'm predicting it now. That's what's going to happen. There's going to be a duel in Thunderdome between French DDs, or maybe a French DD and some unlucky sucker who tries to go in there and contest against the French DD. So the big question will be, can this hybrid, this new game, I almost said new game mode, excuse me, this new style of ship that we recently had added to the game, and which I'm just now for the first time myself seeing actually in a competitive mode, can its torpedo bombers actually make a difference in a really, really tight fit, sort of like that, against what would be a speedy destroyer? All of this could be moot if they do exactly the opposite of what I say and don't contest Thunderdome, but I'm crossing my fingers that they do, because that'll be real spicy.
That'll be real spicy. Yeah, I'm interested to see what those torpedo bombers do. I really enjoy playing hybrid ships. So I'm always interested in seeing how those play out. But they're going to be doing again on Sleeping Giant. When we're going to have you think the biggest fights are going to be at A?
I do initially, yeah, I think so. Obviously, the push from C to B cap is what you have to do if you lose Thunderdome. If you lose Thunderdome, you have to try and outtrade the ships that are around the A cap, which can be difficult, as once you have Thunderdome, they can just kind of kite away and let you bash your head against the wall. But if someone does lose out on Thunderdome, they're probably going to have to make a push from B to C or C to B. And frankly, there's a lot of islands you can use for cover there, but oftentimes people end up having to go wide out into the open waters there on the 9-10 line in order to be able to outflank. So with a Carrier on the board, we'll have to see if they have enough ship resources to actually get that done. I don't know. I don't think I've ever played Tier 8 competitive on this map, so there's going to be a lot of new discovery for me as well, and hopefully for everybody at home. Makes it spicy and interesting.
There's that kill zone right there in the center between A and those two B and C caps. So anybody who's gutsy enough to try and get across there while detected is going to be in bad shape, because they're going to be broadside. So we're going to go over and we're going to see what happens now. So good luck to JEDI. And where's the W key? Lord Zath and Sea Raptor, take it away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with take 2 of Game 3. of Jedi versus Help. And in this case here, we're going to go back. Now, when there is a call back and a restart called, you're not allowed to change your lineup. So the lineup's going to be the same as prior. As we see Jedi bringing Shokaku, a Key, a Cleveland, a Bayard, Cossack, and double Lateros.
From the south spawn opposing them for this game 3 for Help is also Shokaku and Key, double Amalfi, bringing a Tone of their own this match and putting 2 Taribs into the water out front. So we're going to see a lot of French destroyer action here, Zath. You know, Sleeping Giant is one of the most entertaining maps to watch with these French ships as they zoom around the map, because the A-cap frequently is a place of hilarity and tragic death.
Absolutely. I think we're going to see some tactics here that some might call unnatural.
Oh, I see what you did there. See what you did there. Well, one of the things we were looking at there is Abern's Le Terrible was headed up the 4-5 line like he was going to try and sneak into the cap, but a conveniently placed fighter from Aetius, basically he changed his mind. Now he's swinging wider out to the 2-3 line. Tarkin now has decided he's going to try this entrance in the middle of the board. He's going to drive right down underneath this fighter cover and dive the cap from here.
Well, the question's going to be, is SEAL Team 6 going to get a shot at him?
It's a really good question. Are they going to be able to even spot each other at the moment? I don't think it's going to happen, Zath.
SEAL Team 6 made Inky, so, I mean, unfortunately, that means no spot.
You can't see.
Oh, here comes the carrier.
Oh, here comes the carrier. Carrier will spot Tarkin, but it's too late for SEAL Team to get a shot on him. Yep, that attempt has passed. As now Burn on the other side of the cap is going to come right around the corner, face to face with a Le Terrible and a Bayard, who know that he's there.
Right.
With the reload booster going, trying to get some early damage in.
I think he's gonna burn here.
He is indeed, and he's literally getting tag team from both directions here. I don't think things are going to go well for Help in the early going, Zath.
This is going to be a very quick early death, but the question is, can they make it a trade? First racket
place of tragedy and death. Tarkin going to take a torpedo amidships. He does.
Oh,
that evens the fight. As now Abern's got his reload booster off and actually has a health advantage.
Yeah.
Is it gonna? But he can't. He's missing. He's not leading enough, and he does finally go down, leaving Tarkin on 700 hit points.
And that's what I was just talking about trying to get that trade. I mean, technically, Jedi won that engagement, but I really don't know that either team won that engagement.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't think anybody won that engagement. Now, the win is going to come on the back that Tarkin lives and is going to be able to pick up the cap. That's going to allow them to score some early points, and that is worth the trade. So, I mean, they're up a ship, and now they're going to be up a cap and slowly continuing that advantage. That really puts Help on the back foot. They're going to have to make some very, very critical plays here. And even the Bayard, I mean, look at what happened to poor Inflamed for that.
Yep. Well, and now I just noticed that. But
yeah, he got hammered by the torpedoes and other things. It was bad.
On the 8 line, we can see a push forming now from Help. They're realizing that they got to do something. On the other side now, big AP bomb, I think that was on SEAL Team 6, and there goes Tarkin.
Shokaku Rockets got enough power for 700 HP. They do get Tarkin off the board. Both teams on a kill now. That salvo you saw on SEAL Team 6. That was from Frosty's Key in the middle of the map. The island cover there is low enough. If that Amalfi's spotted, the Key can get shells over. In fact, here comes yet another salvo. This one's going to fall astern, however.
Yep, that little island there on the map, it looks like it's cover. In real life, it's not.
Indeed.
So
now, one of the things I like about
carefully.
What I love about Frosty's position, Zath, right? If you're Help, you're looking at this push up the 2 line. You know, you've got a Tone, a Key, and an Amalfi. You're looking at probably driving one of those ships into the A-cap because there's nothing for Jedi on this flank that can stop you. But Frosty, in the middle of the board with his guns looking into the cap, is going to make anything you drive around that corner, it's going to hurt, right? So, in fact, here comes a salvo on Maverick right now.
Right. Maverick's the logical choice to go in first. So that's why the Amalfi is holding. That's why the Tone's holding.
Frosty's position very key right now. See what I did there?
Oh,
So we're
God.
gonna have to. So we're gonna have to see how Help plays things as they step on the A cap and start turning it over.
Yep. SEAL Team 6 is going defensive, making Inky trying to back away there, coming under attack from the aircraft carrier as well as the Fury as the turtle.
I think now would be, I'm telling you, Zath, I think now would be a really good time for Big Joe's Tone planes to go after Frosty in the middle of the board. He seems to agree.
Mentioned that. He just yeeted his planes off the deck. There
they
go.
He seems to agree because there they go. He's dealing with a Tone strike coming into starboard, Tarib on his port side.
And AP
he's now got cover. Yep, he's now got cover from Maverick's key, but the Shokaku's also bringing in the dive. This poor key is just absolutely getting hammered from every single possible direction.
Well, he is a key part of the board.
Wow. Throwing my own joke back in my face, Zath. Bad form, sir. Bad form. He's going to be able to dodge. He took a few Tone torps. I think he's going to be able to dodge most of the French torps. No, he's overturned now. He's going to take one of these. Try and take it on the belt if he can. No, he's going to take it in the stern. That hits hard. It might be a flood. He's going to take one in the bow. No, but he does take a flood. He's flooding and healing, trying to stay into the game as he's kind of cartwheeling through the middle of the board with the Shokaku coming back for the kill. And I think he's going to get it.
Yep, that's going to be it. So good port position early to hold entrance to the Thunderdome, but unfortunately not able to, utilize it to its maximum there as he's about to go down.
Indeed. 2 ships enter, 1 ship leaves. Now Maverick stuck in Thunderdome at half HP in a gunfight now with Gooseneck, and Frosty has managed to stay alive, Zath, on 2,700 hit points.
He's not quite dead. He's getting better.
He's not going to be getting better for a while because the AP bombs are absolutely coming back for him, but it's going to be exciting. Now, Furia has
4K.
On the 2 line, Furia has chosen SEAL Team 6 for extinction, and there he goes. Shokaku doing the work.
Wow.
JEDI also trying to play defense of their B cap as Marconi's Amalfi has pushed all the way up the 8 line, trying to play in the backfield as there the Shokaku finally does get Frosty Beverages off the board.
Yep. Took a while.
It did. Battleships are like that. Both teams on 2 kills in what's been a bloodbath so far. 8 minutes into this game, and we're looking at about a 20-point lead or so for JEDI, but their battleship is off the board. Help has a commanding position in the A cap. We're going to have to see if they can break back in there, but yikes, it's bad.
And take a look at B. We have Killer Makonis and the Amalfi that's almost full health, mind you, coming around. Ooh, and a bit of a destroyer slap fight going on down here in the middle of the 7 line as well.
Cossack charging the Tarib. Oh, Cossack takes a torpedo. That is a huge amount of damage.
You would think he'd have Hydro ready for that, but maybe not.
Rab's guns are looking the wrong way. His guns were looking middle of the board, and he's struggling to get off. Oh, another torpedo into the Cossack. Goodness gracious. But Rab can't get his guns around. He's stuck on the rocks.
There it is. He got him.
He's trying to get him. I think they're going to get this to Reeb. If he does, this could be huge. He does.
Yep.
He's on 1,100 AP. The Shokaku's coming back for more. Here come the torpedoes. He's going to jet out of the way.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. Rubber band hits the W key.
Amalfi smoking onto the B cap, getting reset by Inflamed. But when he comes around the corner, when the smoke ends out, he's going to be looking right at the broadside of the opposing carrier. And if he's smart, he's going to have his AP in the barrel, and it's going to be very, very, very bad.
Marconis is lit up by radar by Gooseneck's Cleveland. That's how they're shooting him in the smoke.
Ah, okay. I wondered about that.
Never
not
mind.
Anymore. Not anymore. Gooseneck off the board. The key finally claims another victim.
We'll need another Cleveland. Maverick coming under fire now from multiple sides.
They get yet another reset with the Shokaku rockets in smoke on Marconi's. And Marconi's now nose to nose with the opposing Shokaku. It's time to load the AP, sir. There, they do finally get inflamed. Cossack very low, coming under aerial attack down south as well. He goes off the board.
There he goes, yep. And now it's just 2-4.
Oh, but man, they're just the opposing carrier just hammering Marconi's.
Yeah, Aegis is doing a great job with those planes.
Flooding. Marconi's is going to flood out Zath.
Well, there's also rockets coming to help him with the flood.
Yeah, well, they're going to help him along. But man, the carriers have absolutely been impactful in this game, mostly cleaning up nearly dead ships.
That's
As the
kind of their
Shokaku
job,
takes
right?
another massive hit. Indeed. Well, we talked about that. You know, carriers used to be a thing in King of the Sea. Watch this Tarib push in A, Zath. Look at A.
Oh, yeah, I see the Tone. Big Joe's in trouble.
We used to talk about this in King of... Go ahead.
No torpedoes from him at all. I thought he was lining up a Luckchuck or something, but nothing. He's finally getting some guns going. I don't think he was expecting this push.
No, I don't think he was. We used to talk about it in King of the Sea, right? Was that carriers were like almost the premier ship for cleaning up low health ships that had snuck away, avoiding detection, whatever.
Oh,
and
yeah.
of course, here today, we're absolutely seeing more evidence of that. Maverick doing brilliant work to dodge the torpedo salvo. Aetius back behind cover, but now the opposing Shokaku just sensing blood in the water, bringing the torpedo strike in to try and get the opposing carrier off the board.
And Big Joe is about to take 2, if not 3 torpedoes here. No, he's only gonna take 1, but that's enough.
Oh, Zath, look at what's happened.
Oh,
look at what has happened. Just like that, JEDI has a ship lead. They were down 3 ships.
Right.
And now they're not.
Now they're not.
Now they're very not, Zath. And the opposing Shokaku, that's Aetius, is on such low HP, a rocket strike will take him off the board. Right. And then it's going to be down to Le Terrible versus Shokaku.
And Furia's about to... There's the cap.
Yikes. 12 minutes in, it's a tie game.
Yeah.
And the opposing Shokaku is all that help has left on the board. He's fairly healthy. Furia could attempt to run him down and maybe put some pressure on him and force him to make some difficult decisions with his targeting in order to try to keep his friendly carrier in the game if he wanted.
You can see Aetius putting up as many fighters as possible.
He's just drowning himself in combat air patrol. Yep. But here comes the rocket strike, and I don't think the combat air patrol is going to be enough. We're going to have to see.
And it looks like Furia's been pulled off, so they don't want Furia to risk getting killed.
No, they're going to. I think they've acknowledged. Here's what's going to happen. Here's how this is probably going to play out. They're going to lose the carrier. When that happens, the score will flip back. But as long as Furia can dodge the planes and hide and run and be where the carrier somewhere else, the Shokaku is going to look at his board position. He'll never get on caps in time. They'll still win the game.
Right. As long as he can live.
Indeed. Here come the rockets. You can see Pecora looking for an angle through all of his combat air cover. Looks like he's found one. It looks like he's found one. He's losing a ton of planes, but he only needs a few of these rockets to get through as the fighters latch. Here it comes. He's going to do it. Yep, there it is.
There it is.
And just like that, we're 2.5 minutes away.
Yep.
2.5 minutes away from a JEDI win in a match that they were once down 3 ships.
And look at the score timer. 30 seconds. JEDI's got 30 seconds of a lead.
That's how close this is going to be. And so now it's completely up to Furia. He basically has to run, hide, and then just... Zath, it's time to just dodge.
Well, yeah, and I'm curious why he went to that rock there. I think he did that to give him the option to go after the Shokaku if the math didn't line up the way they thought it would. I expected him to go to A1, but he's waiting because I think he wanted to be able to go south and charge down the Shokaku if needed. He doesn't. He's not needed, so now he's gonna just try to get farther back.
I think the real catch here is first of all, I don't think that Pecora has time to get up into the A cap. Or any cap, honestly. He's got 90 seconds, and I don't think he's got the time.
No, however, but if I'm Pecora...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. If I'm Pecora, I'm putting my autopilot in the middle of the map right now, just to get closer to wherever, get my planes out there.
I think we're getting very, very close. Yep, they have spotted him now. No, they haven't. Yep, Tarif's got his... Yep, they've spotted him now. They know where he is. Rocket Strike's going to wheel around and try to get in on him. Furia can make this very, very difficult for the Shokaku. Let's see if he can pull it off. He takes a hit, not a huge one, about 2K or so. Time under 60 seconds now. JEDI still technically trailing in the game, but they will have a lead change momentarily. Here comes the second strike. This one he's going to dodge handily. Yep, not a problem. And now Pecora is going to get one more kick at the can. That's all he's got time for. He's got 30 seconds to kill this Tarib, and I just don't think it's not going to happen, Zach.
Well, so he just recalled his planes. He just took off with a new squadron of planes. So now they've got to transit across. I'm with you. I don't think he has enough time to get there to spot him and go in for the strike. It's not going to happen.
I don't see it. It's not going to happen. 10 seconds. He's not even going to get the planes in range before the game ends. JEDI is going to cling on and win by good Lord, by the skin of their teeth. But they're going to claim game 3. They're moving on to the semifinals.
It appears they were the chosen ones.
Indeed they were. What a series. What a game, Zap. I love Sleeping Giant. Sleeping Giant consistently produces the most ridiculous, entertaining matches of every map we play in World of Warships. It is so much fun to play tournaments on this map.
That's right. Now we're being summoned back to the studio, so shall we go?
Let's do it. Let's pass things back to Bogsy and Cal. Guys, we'll see you in the studio in just a moment.
All right. That was an incredible match. Oh my god.
Wow. I mean, we were talking earlier about how difficult it was to choose between these two teams about who's going to come out on top, and I think they displayed right there exactly why it was so difficult to choose. Yeah. That literally came down to the last second. There were so many close plays.
Wow. Well done to both teams. They held on really close at that end, man. That just didn't go out in the favor of where's the W key. But congratulations to Team JEDI. The force is definitely strong with them.
It certainly is. Moving on, you will. But sorry, that was terrible.
No, it was terrible.
So there's a couple. I mean, a couple predictions we made did end up coming true, but man, not the way. First, right out of the gate, we had the carrier. The JEDI carrier was named Atius. He did an incredible job of covering both entrances to Thunderdome with fighters. That's the best way a carrier can support his team, is to provide vision, to provide map control and information. That allowed two Terribles. They double French DD'd the Thunderdome to come in and put pressure on the single French DD coming in from where's the W key. However, where's the W keys player? Burn was his name.
Oh wow. Wow, that tactic is it's an Easter egg in the game. It helps you get your flight out faster.
That's right. It's the form of launching your planes into the air quickly by essentially just teeter-tottering them.
They used to use ramps on flight decks, so they had to use a ramp, but they had to ramp the whole ship.
But here, you can see this replay. This is the moment when the special commendation to where's the W keys French DD player Burn. He was up against two French DDs in there, and he nearly, by 700 HP, managed to actually trade out with one of the other ones. Excellent play, very well done. That was decisive. The game would have been over, I think, completely right then and there if he had not almost completely traded with that other DD. So kudos to him. But lots of back and forth throughout the whole match. The carriers making strike after strike on the BBs. The DDs getting into knife fights with each other. Excellent gameplay by both teams.
Absolutely, and the number of fighters that they had just orbiting the carrier itself there at the end to try and prevent anything that they could. It was it looked like a Venn diagram.
It was like a beehive of angry little fighter bees. Yeah.
That was incredible. So let's bring back Lord Zath and Sea Raptor and hear their thoughts on the series so far. Welcome back, gentlemen. First off, a hell of a job as always. You guys did great. Thank you guys so much for casting and keeping us entertained during the show. Tell us what you thought about especially that last match, but give us your whole thoughts on the whole series.
Are you not entertained?
I was absolutely entertained. That was amazing. But what were your thoughts on that there, Mr. Lord Zath?
I mean, we saw the importance of air power. We saw the importance of tactics. We saw the importance of the Thunderdome coming into play there, and it was such a fluid engagement. It's one thing I love about this game and hate at the same time. The maps are so big, it's hard to keep track of what's happening everywhere. We always try to capture it when we cast these kinds of games and stuff. The neat thing is with the St. Petersburg team, now they're able to catch the things that we might miss And we can see that again in the highlight reel or right afterwards. And we saw that becoming really important in this last battle. From start to finish, it was action, 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 and we had no idea who was going to win. I always talk about this when I cover replays. You never give up. You never say, "Well, this is over. We're done." And you saw that happen with Jedi. They're down 2-4, and they said, "To hell with this. We're going to make it work," and they pulled out the W.
Yeah, that's I wasn't sure when that first match. I was like, man, looks like it's going to be in the bag, but Jedi proved me wrong. C-Raptor, what are your thoughts there, buddy?
I think to me that match kind of showcases a little bit why you might see teams take Shokaku, right? For example, we talked. I know you guys talked a little about it. Zath and I've talked about it. We probably look at it and go, man, Lexington's got such a great tool set, right? The HE bombs and the torpedoes and the whether you take the TIMs or the HVARs for the rockets, you've got a lot of really good tools in your toolbox. But for a very long time, many, many moons, Shokaku was the premier carrier in Tier 8 competitive. And I think this match highlights why that might still be a thing in the hands of the right player. She certainly has very, very good plane reserves, planes, a variety of things that do good work. We saw the AP bombs doing good work against even battleships. Even if you just get full pens, that's still solid damage. And the torpedoes, those 50-knot Japanese torpedoes that hit like trains. Look at both of those carrier players flexing those against destroyers, against French destroyers even.
Yeah.
And some of that comes because, I mean, you go back and look at some of those engagement, right? You've got a destroyer captain. He's getting shot from two different angles. A carrier's dropping him simultaneously. You're just, there's so much going on. You're trying to dodge and to fire back and to not get shot and to con your ship, and there's islands everywhere. And there's a lot going on. And the carrier adds both a tactical element to the game for the team that fields one, but also it adds a reactionary element when you're having to play against one, right? You have to approach a game differently, and you have to think through your maneuvers a little more carefully, because he might always be lurking around the corner ready to pounce, because he can be anywhere.
Right.
How about those two destroyer slap fights that we got to watch? That was
fun.
Beauty, wasn't it?
That was fun.
The Cossack
what do you guys feel
versus
about
the Terrible over on the east side. That one was so interesting to watch, because normally 9 times out of 10, a Terrible is going to beat a Cossack hands down in a gunfight. The Cossack had that quick smoke. It has pretty good. It has a good alpha weight for its own guns. It was very exciting to watch that Cossack actually best a Terrible in an open gunfight.
Yeah, but he almost got bested himself. I mean, I was curious why he took that torpedo. His hydro must have been down. It's a long duration hydro, which is good and bad, right? You pop it too early, and then it's off when you absolutely need it. And maybe that was the case.
I really think that is a decisive point of the game, right? Because things are starting to unravel. It's becoming kind of devolving more into a general melee for both teams as the game gets progressively more crazy. And you look up at one point, there's still a full health Cossack on that flank. He's charging a low health Tarib. You think, look, he's going to take some damage. He's probably still got this in the bag. And then he takes not only one of the Tarib's torpedoes, he takes a carrier torpedo on the way in.
Yes.
And then suddenly you look around and you're like, okay, now he has 5,000 hit points going in against a roughly equal Tarib whose guns are looking the wrong way. And this whole gunfight becomes a mess. At the end of it, he lives, but he's got only 1,000 HP. And the opposing carrier cleans him up with a rocket strike and smoke. And it's like, if you hadn't taken the torpedoes, you probably could have capped the other point. Maybe this whole game might look different. I feel like that was a decisive moment.
And that's what happened in both of the destroyer slab fights. We saw that one torpedo that comes in, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey guys, I lived.
Yeah.
Only for a little while.
For a little while. Like that shoulder limp.
Right.
For a little while.
To the left because one of the screws is broken.
Oh. It's only a flesh wound. It's only a flesh wound.
Yeah. So that was an incredible match. Congratulations to Jedi for coming out with the high ground in that match. We have a lot more matches. Come on, Lord Zeth, you made puns there too. I have to do some. I'm
bringing balance to the Force, maybe.
Exactly. Exactly. So
they were the key to the match. Yeah, exactly.
Need a victory. So congratulations again to Jedi fighting for Warrior Freedom Service Dogs. And of course, a huge shout out to Where's the W Key and the Pat Tillman Foundation. We still have a lot of show left in the day. C-Raptor, Lord Zath, You guys are amazing. I think that at some point or another we'll have to erect some statues of you two somewhere in Texas. But we have a heck of a lot left in the day. We have some more teams that are going to be coming up. We still have to see Blue Falcons, the Fire Kitchen, IFHE or Iconic Fleet of Heroic. Let's take a look at the updated structure. Actually, we have that now where we're at. So where's the W key fell prey to the Jedi's lightsaber. Jedi's now going to be competing against Double the Fun, and we have Flying Philosophers against the Iconic Fleet of Heroic Ephraim. I really want to get into an understanding of where that name came from. But that said, for the rest of the day, we'll just have to sit and wait and figure out what's going to happen. Flying Philosophers are IFHE. Real quick before we move on to the next segment, let's hear what you think. Lord Zath, who do you think is going to take that match?
Oh, man, it's going to be tough. We saw both of those teams play in other battles 2 weekends ago, and I can already see Raptor's pulling out his notes, and he's looking.
Looking at my notes.
How did these guys do?
I'm looking at my notes.
I really like the way that the Flying Philosophers played, so I'm gonna pick them. I don't off the top of my head know the results and who won and by how much and blah blah. I don't care. I enjoyed watching Flying Philosophers, so I'm gonna go with them.
All right.
Fair enough. I'm actually gonna pick opposite of Zath. I'm gonna pick IFHE. We started the entire tournament watching them way back, and here we are going to the semifinals. We're going to see them again. I'm excited. They played really well in those first two games. They looked solid. I'm really curious to see how they've evolved, their strategies and their comps have evolved over the course of the tournament. That's my pick.
All right. Well, we will see what happens. For now, we're going to say goodbye to Sea Raptor and Lord Zath. We have a short video that we're going to play, and then we have our amazing friend Jay Ellis and a Verizon veteran joining us, Mr. Jason. They got to spend some time hanging out. You've seen Jason already in a few of the videos, but we'll hear from them and chat with Jay Ellis and Jason here in just a few minutes. For now, we'll say goodbye to Lord Zath and Sea Raptor, and we'll watch this video and we'll talk to you guys soon.
See you later, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take care.
The trip to the VA, it was an all-day event. Telehealth has brought me closer to my medical team.
Verizon has partnered with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs to connect veterans to VA Video Connect for free.
The quality of his life has changed immensely.
VA Video Connect takes care of veterans. Verizon takes care of the cost.
It is one of the best tools in my toolbox for healthcare.
We are back. Welcome back. And I am joined now by even cooler people. No offense to my friends over there, but we have Mr. Jay Ellis and Mr. Jason Hill. Jay Ellis is starring in the upcoming Top Gun film. He joined us on July 17th, I think it was. So thank you so much for joining us then. And now, Jay, and welcome back.
Thanks, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, and you're on this side of the ocean now. This time, you were in Serbia last time.
Yeah, I'm back home this time. I'm in LA this time. So yeah.
And thank you for getting up super early. Jay was up at like 6 o'clock for sound checks this morning, so we super appreciate that. So thanks so much for Jay for joining us. And we also have Jason Hill, a Verizon employee and veteran from. He was in the. Was it the Marine Corps or the Army, Jason?
Army,
right on. Well, thank you so much, Jason, for telling us. Tell us a little bit about your time in the Army, Jason, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. Yeah, I was on land, not on the sea. So I drove tanks for 4 years, stationed stateside at Fort Carson, Colorado, and then did tours in Korea and Bosnia.
Okay. And thank you for your service, Jason. Obviously, as a veteran, talking to other veterans there's always an instant connection for me. So I really do appreciate the service that you've provided to our country. And now you're at Verizon, and you've been at Verizon for quite a while. I know Verizon does a lot to support veterans. We've talked about it throughout the show. What does that mean to you as an employee of Verizon?
I mean, it means everything. It's obviously been an important aspect of my life and my career. But the employee resource groups, the mentorship opportunities, just as an employee through Verizon are just top notch. You spend some time, you serve your country, and then you get out, and it's nice to work for a company that supports us the way that Verizon does.
Absolutely, and it's so amazing to hear that. I know that a lot of veterans don't have that same experience coming home. They don't find an employer who shares those same philosophies. So I'm very glad to hear that. And so we've talked a little bit about your experience in LA. I've mentioned it briefly, but obviously you know who this guy is, wherever he's down there, Mr. Jay Ellis, who you got to spend some time with in LA, and you guys got to hang out for a little bit. Tell us what that experience was like in LA for you briefly.
Good, man. It was it was my 5 minutes of fame, so it was pretty awesome. It was cool to see what Jay does for a living and get get on the other side of a camera. My only regret is admitting on the video that my son kicks my butt on all the video games that we play, because he has been exploiting that at every opportunity he can in front of family members and friends. So other than that, it was great. It was awesome. It was good to hang out with Jay. I'm not sure if I'm on the right link. I don't see Jay. Should I be selecting something else here?
That's it's inside of Discord is where you should see his name. If you click on that link.
I see you, and I remember the moment that you will never forget when you told your son's ability to destroy you.
So, speaking of that, we saw you guys play some games on the videos. You guys were playing, I think it was, I'm not sure what games you guys were playing. I think somebody mentioned Halo. Who's better, Jay or Jason? We're going to hear from Jay first, because
Jason, 100%, man. I hadn't played Halo in forever, but I think also too, he's just got a little bit more insider knowledge than what I got. We talked about this a little bit with Sergio and with Sal, and just talking about how there are things that they learned in their time in the service that they obviously find a way to put into practice when they're playing. So, they had the cheat code, if you will.
The real life cheat code. Jason, what about you? Do you think you're better than Jay?
I'm still having audio issues. I couldn't hear what Jay said, but I'll never admit defeat in anything. So
perfect. Outstanding. Well, are you able to hear Jay, Jason?
I can't. No, I'm not sure. I hear you just fine. I can't hear Jay though.
Oh man, I hear you.
All right. I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll see if we can figure that out on the studio side of things. While we're doing that, Jay, I'd love to talk to you briefly about your partnership with Verizon in support of military and the veteran communities. What drew you to that partnership?
Yeah, I think we talked about this before, but my dad was in the Air Force. My grandfathers were in the Air Force. My step-grandfather was in the Air Force. I got a cousin who's in the Marines. It has been my life, man. I've been surrounded by folks in the military and folks who've, given their lives and time away from their families to protect this country. And so many of them, my dad went through Desert Storm. And so many of his friends went through Desert Storm. So, seeing guys come home and where we are now in terms of the community and the services that are offered to them, and companies like Verizon being at the lead of that and at the forefront of that, to me was just such an amazing reason, such a great reason just to jump on and be a part of this and kind of say thank you and honor the guys who give their lives for us.
Well, thank you as well, Jay. I know it takes a lot to get involved and find the right organization that you are passionate about. And so thank you so much for joining us and the work that you do to support veterans. Jason, are you able to hear Jay yet? I'm hoping.
I can't hear him.
Okay. Mr. Conway, if you can help us out with that, I'd love to figure out what's going on there. Jason, let me ask you just a few questions while we figure this out, if I may. What do you wish more people knew about veterans?
What do I wish more people knew about veterans? That's a loaded question. We got a bottle of whiskey or something if we're, if we're really
Yeah,
gonna get
I got
into
some back here.
Nice. We might need it. I wish more people knew that, not every veteran was, embedded in live fire for 5 years straight. Some of us served as garrison soldiers, but that doesn't make our service any greater or any less than anyone else that served. Um, yeah, I mean, outside of that, most of the stereotypes are true. So.
Yeah, it's super true. And what was your favorite part of your experience with Jay and hanging out with the other veterans, Sergio and Sal, in LA?
Getting to know him. I mean, first and foremost. On top of that, I think Sal had mentioned we went to his aunt's restaurant, had dinner one night. That was cool. It'd been a while since I was just exclusive with another group of veterans, just kind of being able to talk and hang out. And his aunt treated us like royalty while we were there, so that was a lot of fun. Um, like I said earlier, getting to see Jay in action, getting to see him do what he does for a living, and how natural he is at it was kind of mind blowing. And then just LA, we got to sample the fairs. It was fun.
Had you been out to LA before?
I had only briefly though.
Okay. All right.
Anaheim actually, not LA actually.
And so how long were you guys, like how many matches of Halo did you guys end up playing?
I don't know. I think we were at it for like an hour, maybe.
Okay.
I think I won like all of them. So I don't know. I was I'm just joking. There was a moment where I got on the Warthog and just like annihilated everybody for like 10 minutes straight. So I see Jay nod and he remembers.
Is that true?
It doesn't really ring true to the account that I remember, but yeah.
There's mixed memories. Mixed memories. So that's funny. So Jason, tell us a little bit more about, you spent time in tanks. What is that experience like being in a giant metal gun?
Let me see something real quick. I think I just might have figured out how to unmute Jay. So
okay, that's good. Well, then, while you're working on that, I have other questions for you, Mr. Ellis, if you don't mind. The last time we spoke, we talked about your father, and he was an Air Force veteran. How did he feel about you flying in an F-18, which is clearly the superior aircraft, over an F-15?
I'll tell you what. When I called my parents and told them that I was doing the movie, my dad was like, "Oh, right on, man. That's exciting. That's great. That's the Navy, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh man, that's too bad." So that was his first response. But he loved it, man. I once he got to see the full, see us in the full gear, and I have my helmet on, and I got my suit on. He was blown away, man. And then I took a couple pictures, in F-18s and the F-35 at one point. He got to see all of that. Blown away, man. He loved it.
F-35s?
Yeah. So they had one when we were up at Fallon, which is where Top Gun is actually based now. They had a couple of them there. So we got to do they're a single seater, obviously. So we didn't fly in it, but we got to do a little on the ground, peekaboo, if you will, just a little behind the curtain of the F-35.
That Joint Strike Fighter, man, it's a pretty aircraft. It's very, very pretty. So, had you ever taken flight lessons before jumping in a cockpit?
No, man. I mean, this was my first experience really flying like this. I mean, because of my family, I feel like I've spent so much time around aircraft, but never in this way. This was very up close, very intimate. Tom Cruise actually designed our flight training program and gave us a book, and we sent emails to him every week, and we're like, we love this, we don't like this, and we want more of this. And literally you would get an email back, or a phone call, or a text message from Tom, and he'd be like, "Hey, so what can we do to make it better? What do you need? Okay, you need that? All right, great. I'm gonna make sure you have that." He was just very involved in the whole thing. So by the time we got to the F-18s, we probably had about 45 hours of flight training between 3 or 4 different planes. And then we got another, I would say, I mean, I probably filmed somewhere between 15 to 18 hours in an F-18.
I'm jealous. So jealous. That's incredible.
It was wild, man. It's still like, even thinking about it now and like seeing it, it doesn't even feel like it was real. Like it's crazy.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much for sharing that story with us. It's particularly interesting to see, how much work goes into this, even offset. There's a lot of conversation, a lot of studying, especially for something in a role that's technical like this. Jason, are we good now? Are you able to hear Mr. Ellis? Okay. All right. We're not sure what's going on here. We may have to reconvene this. Jason, I'm not sure what's happening here, guys. So sorry about this. Are you able to hear us now? No. Okay. Well, while we're doing that, do you, Jay, back to you. Do you plan to finish out your pilot's license? Oh. Did we lose Jay? Everything is falling into the technical realm of Void.
I'm not sure. Mic check. Can you guys hear me?
We can.
I'm here.
Okay.
Me.
All right, and now Jay's back too. All right. So, not sure where we were at. I think we jumped around a little bit. Jay, do you plan to finish out your pilot's license?
I hope so, man. I started up right before the pandemic last year, and then obviously things kind of got down. My hope is to get back at it this fall, but we'll see. I got. We talked about this earlier. I got a little kid now, so she's the boss of my schedule.
She's a co-pilot. Just get her in there playing Flight Simulator.
She's my Maverick and my Goose.
Oh, that's sweet. I think. Yeah. All right. Jason, are you back with us, buddy? Nope. All right.
I don't know. Am I here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think Jay can hear you as well. So, tell us about your experience in tanks. Jay just shared, what his experience was like in an F-18. I'd love to hear what it's like in a tank.
Yeah, so I'll start in the recruiter's office. We popped in this video. It's like AC/DC playing in the background and a tank plowing through a ditch, and it was like I was drooling, and I signed up, and then like 6 months later, I'm cleaning oil spots in the motor pool for most of my career. So, no, I'm kidding in a sense. The tanks are just amazing, man. The power is unreal. Just the noise, the smell just kind of sticks with you for your entire life. They are impressive machines.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned smell. That's one of the things that, recently I went back and visited one of the carriers that I served on. And the smell is the first thing that you notice right away. And nothing else immediately seems familiar, but that smell, you're just like, I'm comfortable immediately, and it is the worst smell. I'm a gaming nerd. I don't touch cars. I play with I play with electronics, not with mechanic. But that oil smell or that diesel smell that you get is just immediately memorable. So
Yeah.
Would you join? Would you drive a tank again? That's the question I'm trying to ask. If somebody let you in a tank again, would you?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm really hoping that I do get an opportunity to drive one again. I was young. I think I kind of granted the real opportunity that I had, right? But now I'm a little older, and looking back, I would almost give anything for that opportunity again.
For sure. So, and what about you, Mr. Ellis? Are you going to fly F-18s again?
If they're crazy enough to let me, absolutely, man.
I know that there's. I would love to do that. I think I need to lose about 700 hot wings before I can do that. But we'll get there and doing that. Did they let you keep the flight equipment?
They gave all of us when a boat launch when a F-18 launches off a boat, there's a little can't think what they call it, but it almost looks like a top. But there's basically it's a bolt essentially that kind of is carnage, if you will, once the I can't think of what they call this thing now. But anyway, once it's released, this little thing comes out. Yeah, they let us have it essentially. That was cool. We got tons of little things, man. They took care of us. The XO on the boat wrote us all like this really nice note, gave us hats. That was really cool. The captain, like everyone took care of us and gave us like really cool little things. From our flight suits to like our jackets. It was pretty amazing, man.
That's awesome. Jason, do you have any parts of a tank sitting in your house that you're comfortable telling the world that you have? Uh-oh. What is that a I can't hear you, buddy, but it looks like a giant plunger. Oh.
Yeah, that is the remnants of a fired round.
Oh wow! Okay.
Aft cap. So that is the what's left when it's all said and done.
That's incredible. That's actually a great question. I want to ask both of you. Jason, I'll start with you since you're here. Have you fired off a lot of rounds from a tank?
I actually only got to fire one. That one.
That one.
So okay. The typical progression as a tanker is you either start off as a driver or a loader. Usually the bigger guys are loaders and the smaller guys are drivers. I happen to be one of the smaller guys. They threw me in the driver's hole. From there, you kind of progress. As you progress in rank, you ultimately become a gunner. From gunner, tank commander. I never wanted to leave the driver's hole. Loved it in there. I mean, it was just home to me. I was sought after as one of the better drivers in the battalion, and I just rolled with it. So
awesome. And then Jay, I have 3 more questions for you. One of them is, did they let you fire the guns from the 18s?
Nah, I wish, man. They didn't.
Not even dummy rounds or anything. Oh.
I wish they would have, man. None of the planes we flew on for safety reasons actually had ordnance on them. So,
right.
Yeah, not even because my hand would have been in the wrong place and I would have dropped the wrong bomb at the wrong time. Completely changed the landscape of northern Nevada.
There used to be a Starbucks there. I don't know what happened to it. All right, so we only have just a very short period of time left. But Jay, I do have 2 other questions for you. Specifically about the Warrior series, and to you, what makes the Verizon Warrior series so special?
I think it's beautiful, man. I mean, it's really just an opportunity. I think it's so great that like guys can come together and find community and find resources. Veterans rather can come together and find resources and find community that otherwise they may have not known were there. I think it's amazing that they can connect with folks no matter where they are in the world. And I think Verizon is, again, doing something that like we won't talk about other companies, but Verizon is doing something that is absolutely like amazing and important and taking care of the folks who take care of us. And I think that is like, that's what we're here to do. And Verizon's leading the way on that. So I'm super thankful for them for even talking to me and bringing me into this. And then obviously World of Warships is its own thing. Like that's just a lot of fun to sit back and watch. I'm just telling y'all right now, I watched JEDI and Help, and I thought Help was going to pull it out. That was crazy, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was a heck of a match. So the last question I have for you, Jay, if we have 1 minute, is what do you hope veterans get out of this partnership between Verizon Wounded Warrior Project and the work that we're doing?
Know that A, you're not alone. B, you have someone you can connect with and talk to, and you have a fun way to do it in gaming, obviously, a way that is not heavy, and you can kind of relax and just be engaged there for a while and be focused with the community that you're there with, but just also knowing that there's resources out there for you. And they come in many different ways, but there's tons of resources out there, and Wounded Warrior and Verizon and this partnership is absolutely, a great place to start.
Absolutely. And I couldn't echo your words better. I think that's 100% is you're not alone. You're not alone. There are hundreds of thousands of people who have either gone through it or will go through it at some point in their future, and the experiences that you go through can help somebody else tomorrow. So it's a huge. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to Jason and the other veterans. And Jay, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day and time away from your weekend to join us and share a little bit of behind the scenes stuff about Top Gun and a look into your life. We're going to say goodbye to you both now, but is there anything you want to say before you go and we say goodbye? We'll start with you, Jason.
Yeah, Jay, sorry I couldn't hear you. Nice to see you again. And thanks for having me. It's been great.
Thank you for the service, your service, Jason. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for taking time to be a part of this organization. It's been an absolute pleasure working with Verizon as well as you and in this entire organization. So thank you so much. And Jay, we'll turn it over to you for any final thoughts.
I just want to say thank you, all the vets out there. Thank you guys for all your service. First and foremost, I think, who knows where we'd be without you. So there's that. And then, again, reach out, not alone. Thank you, Verizon. Thank you, World of Warships. This has been absolutely amazing. It's such a great partnership. I hope you guys take advantage of all the resources that are out there for you. And see you guys on the next one.
All right, and we'll be sending a toaster to you soon. So we'll get that toaster signed, and we'll get somebody getting some J. Ellis signed bread toaster thing. I don't know what I was trying to say there. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time and your service to this cause. We really appreciate it. All right, thank you guys. All right, we're gonna bring back our me. We're gonna come back to me. So huge shout out, Jay Ellis, Jason Hill, amazing people. I'm not sure what happened, why they couldn't hear each other, but what we'll do is we'll tell Jason that Jay was saying a lot of really kind things about him until it came to the gaming. So we're gonna be launching into our next game against -1 second and IFHE. And welcome back, Boxy.
Hello,
the
thank
Flying
you.
Philosophers. I'm sorry, -1S is the Flying Philosophers. Bogsy, do you want to walk us through your thoughts on Warrior's Path and the ship dance?
Yeah. Well, obviously, thank you to Jason and Jay for joining us and being a part of all this. And thank you to both of you for your service, as I didn't get a chance to say it to them directly. So thank you guys. So Warrior's Path, again, we saw that just a little while ago during the stream. We saw that the A-cap has that central island that's so critical if you dive a destroyer behind it, because it becomes very difficult to dislodge them out, which starts to put points on the board. It starts to tick that clock down for one team to win it out. So the bans this time are going to be Amalfi, which we actually saw quite a few of in the previous rounds. Akazuki, which we haven't seen yet today, but I do expect to see it. Obviously not in this match, but and then Atago and Kaga once again going to be banned. I wonder if they were trading notes, but good longevity on the Atago and great plane levels on the Kaga, both going to be out for this one. So again, Warrior's Path is one of those maps where a lot of fighting occurs around the A-cap. Lots of islands, including an island stuck in the center. That means it's often about trading and who can trade better, who can fire the best into smoke screens, and then from the B to C cap or C to B, you can choose to go through the little islands there. That was me going through islands.
That's how you do it?
That's how I do it. I don't know what the rest of you guys are doing, but or you can go the 9-10 line route and you can flank wide around the side and just slowly push the folks defending their C cap, the safe cap, out of that cap and try to sneak a destroyer in to take it. So I suspect we'll see more French DDs. I suspect we will see this time maybe some Shikaku, maybe even Lexington. I'm hoping to see the Lexington, and I really hope we see another Tone.
What do you think about that Akazuki ban?
It's not. Here's the thing: the Akazuki is a very interesting boat because it's sort of the tier 10 analog would be the Haragumo, which is a really strong DPM destroyer. However, I really feel like nowadays at the tier 8, people have started to realize the French DDs are the meta in general. They're so strong, they're so fast, they hit so hard, and they can YOLO enemies with their DD torps. So the real question there is just, do they want to play a static trading style? You take Akazuki's. Do you want to play a mobile, catch you when you make a mistake and punish you style? You take the French DDs.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see what's gonna happen here. We have the Flying Philosophers. I think is their name. I get one S and IFHE, which that Ephraim. I really need to find out what's going on with their name there. So it's going to be an interesting day of matches. We're going to see what's going to come through. But while we wait for this match to get going, Jay Ellis and Jason Hill, Bogsy, what'd you think? Like, Jay's an amazing person. I want to hang out with Jason. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, wonderful guys. Really looking forward to hearing more from them.
All right. Well, let's turn it over to Lord Zath and Sea Raptor and watch the next match.